This is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. Well, today's discussion is going to be very lighthearted, and it's going to be surprising probably. And the title of this video is What I Really Trust About White Women. Now, there's a lot of discussion about white women this and white women that and black women this and black women that, but black women and white women don't have nearly the feud that people might think, because there's no reason to. Just because a white woman marries a black man or dates a black man is not a reason for most black women to be alarmed, because it's usually a black man that you don't know or are not interested in the first place. So white women can be a very good resource. I learned years ago that white women can be a very good resource for certain things. I worked with them for many years, and sometimes I would go to work and be really upset about something, and I would just be talking to them like, oh, you know, this was a horrible thing that happened, and then the white woman would say, well, let me tell you what happened to me, and that would just turn out to be kind of an amusing discussion. But the thing that I trust white women with, and I have really come to rely on them during this pandemic, because I order a lot online, and sometimes you don't know what a product is like or what to expect because they are presented one way in the catalog or online, and then you get something completely different. So what white women will do is write a review. They will write a review if they like it, and they will write a review if they don't like it. Usually the reviews go 5 stars, 1 being the poorest and the 5 being the highest. So if you give something a 1, it's no good. If you give it a 5, it's really good. Now, some people don't like to say anything bad about anybody or about any product, so they'll give everything a 5. Some people don't like to say anything good about a product, so they'll give everything a 1. But if you look at the 2s through the 4s, that's where you will get the truth. And the thing that the white women will do, they will rate it, and then they will tell you what's wrong with it. I really like that. They don't just give the star. They don't just rate it by stars. They will tell you what's wrong with it, especially in buying shoes. If you buy shoes, that can be really tricky, because one company's size 8 may not be somebody else's size 8. So the white woman will say, this shoe is not comfortable. And that's enough for me at this point, because if the white woman says that shoe is not comfortable, that shoe is not comfortable. But usually they will go on and tell you why the shoe is not comfortable. They might say something like, the toe bed is narrow, but the heel is wide, and it's just flopping on my foot. So this is a very uncomfortable shoe. I had to send it back. Sometimes they'll say something like, this is a beautiful shoe. It's cute, but it wasn't right for my feet. It hurt or somewhere, or it scraped my heel, so I had to send it back. Sometimes they'll say, this is a very comfortable shoe. I wore it to work, or I wore it to a wedding, and I had it on all day, and it was still comfortable. So this is a good buy. That's specific. So I have come to rely on them when I buy stuff, because they will leave a review. And I have started leaving reviews myself because they really are helpful. Another thing that I trust about white women, and this might sound weird, not trusting them for myself, but I believe them when they assess a man, whether the man is white or black. If the white woman says, this guy is a jerk, and I learned this from working with them too, if they say he's a jerk, he's a jerk. He's pretty much a jerk. Now, I'm not saying everything came out right. I'm only sharing the things that I trust about white women. There was one time when something happened that really perturbed me, and I spoke to my white coworker about it. We were having the Alabama Native American Festival, and someone was going to come to speak to my class who called himself a Cherokee Indian chief. So I had prepared the class. We had been doing discussions about it and all, and the children were ready for him to come and give the talk. The children were also excited. The school was predominantly white, and they were looking forward to him coming and talking about arrowheads and bow and arrows and powwows and things like that. And so I'm the black person in the class, and after a while you forget about you're the black person in the class. You're just the teacher in the class. So this man was going to come and talk to us about being a Cherokee Indian chief. Now, mind you, this man lives in Alabama, And there are not many, if any, Cherokee Indians living in Alabama in the part that I live in. Not that I knew about, but I was surprised that there was such a person in that part of Alabama. But he was coming, and I said, okay, fine. And I was looking forward to it. So he came to the class. He saw me in the class and all of the white children and a few black children. He commenced to talking about black people and slavery and how black people were living on plantations. And now, mind you, black people were living on plantations with white people, not Indian chiefs. So he just went on and on and on about black people, and they wouldn't do this and how they would treat black people, just really getting off on all of the humiliation of black people, to the point that I finally had to say, sir, we're running late for lunch, so we're going to have to leave it there. And I had to shut him down. After he left, I went to my coworker and I was really upset. I said, do you know, he came in there talking about black people and slavery. He was supposed to be talking about being a Cherokee Indian chief. And he spent all of his time trying to talk about slavery. So my white coworker, she didn't even miss a beat. She said, well, did it ever occur to you that he doesn't know anything about being an Indian chief? And I thought that's exactly what I thought, but I didn't say it because they said that's what he was. But she said, that's just a regular white man. And I thought, well, yeah, he is. But that's the $5 Indian. You know, you paid the $5 and you got the title, and now you're coming to the school calling yourself a Cherokee Indian chief, and you don't know anything about being a Cherokee Indian chief. That was one of the times that a white woman put something in perspective for me. And after that, I just sort of laughed it off and went on. But I was still ticked off about it because he was supposed to be talking. He presented himself as something that he didn't know anything about. And the white woman actually called it out. And a couple of things like that would happen to me in my work life, so that I did sometimes come to rely on them for certain things, given the fact that there were just a few blacks in the school. So it's not always bad. There are things that I do trust about white women, and there are things that they are very honest about. Now, there are other things we could talk about, but that's a video for another time. But this is my lighthearted moment, and I do have fond memories of working with white women in situations that we had to work through, and things that we enjoyed, field trips we took. So it was really kind of a fun and a meaningful experience for me. I wanted to share this because there are those who would portray the relationship between black women and white women as always being competitive or antagonistic, and that just simply is not the case. Most black women and white women, especially when they're in close proximity to each other, get along just fine, or as you would expect. So, thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.